Yes, folks, hello, welcome to MoDXtra Games and Collectibles, and welcome to my latest installment, which is another action figure review for you to consume and enjoy. As you can see here, today I'm going to be talking about the G.I. Joe Classified Series Jodie Shooter Craig from the Night Force subline, a recent release that I've received here on input. So stick around, because if you're thinking about picking one up for yourself, it's my hope that my review thoughts today will help you make your mind up as to whether Shooter is the figure for you. And I'm going to cover all the key ins and outs, ups and downs that you might want to know. I'm going to talk about the aesthetic. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the visual experience. How does the figure look? And what's the shelf presence like? How is she on the eye? Then I'm going to talk about the articulation. How does she move? How does she pose? How does she look in display? And then finally, I'm going to talk about all the accessories and added value that enhance our storytelling, narrative, man-child play experience. And that should be everything. I'm thorough. I'm very thorough, folks. I'm warning you up top. But before I do all that, let's go back in time to the moment that Shooter arrived on my doorstep and I cracked open the box and give you my first instinctual reaction as I unbox the package. So it's time travel time, folks. Wobbly screen. Here we go then, folks. Here is Jodie Shooter Craig's packaging. Standard G.I. Joe Classified Series packaging that we've seen for a while now, with the large digital render of the figure here on the left-hand side of the packaging, the painted artwork in the little column down the right with a lovely little purple background on Jodie there. A little cutaway in the corner with all the accessories included. There's the Night Force symbol here to indicate that this is a Night Force version of the figure. The logo at the bottom, it's all the usual stuff. I like these. I love these digital renders, and that's a particularly good one there, actually. Quite a nice little action shot with yet more of the Dark Energon. Yes, that's right, commenters. I got it right this time. Dark Energon pictured in the back, so that's all lovely. Then on the back of the packet, we've got number 90 in the line, the digital render of the figure with all the accessories pictured beside her. The little measuring stick telling us that Jodie Shooter Craig is 5.9 inches tall. A couple of cutaway pictures here showing off some key features. The paint application tattoo on the arm. And then like a little digital display thing there. What's that? Is that maybe wind speed or something? Or an ammunition tracker? Anyone who's much more experienced with sniper rifle shooting, firearmsy type stuff, you'd let me know in the comments down below. I'd appreciate that. That's my import sticker. Obviously, I've sourced this through a UK independent retailer that gets theirs from the East. Big up to Kapow Toys. Legal Bollocks and Malarkey. And then, of course, we've got the data card. Okay, here we go. So we've got a target here. First one on the left. I'm pretty sure that's indicating Shooter's love of her Xbox, and particularly Battlefield 2042. She likes to unwind with a little first-person shooter action. She's, in fact, rank S999 on Battlefield 2049, so big up to Shooter on that. She's been on the grind. Then we've got, what's this here? I know what that is. That's her glue gun. So another little known fact. I'm pretty sure this is in the lore somewhere in the comic books. Shooter has her own arts and crafts Etsy store. And this is the glue gun that she uses for making her own jewellery and ornaments that she sells over there. What have we got number 3 here? That's I know what that is. That's a telescope. So while we're on the subject of arts and crafts, Shooter's also an avid museum visitor when she's on leave, and she's just recently been to the Science Museum, and this is the build your own telescope that she bought in the gift shop there. And she's been an avid stargazer ever since. And then finally we got a little eye here with a line through it. Now this I'm pretty sure is indicating her love of the game hide and seek. In fact, she's part of a campaign to add hide and seek as an official Olympic event. I don't know how much luck they've been having, but in 2016, I'm pretty sure, I'd have to check the list, but Shooter is listed in the lore as being a winner of the Golden Fig Leaf from the Nascondino hide and seek competition in Italy. So, she's a big lover of hide and seek there. And there you go. There's all the data card facts. Then on this side, we've got a bigger representation of that painted artwork. Loving the artwork at the minute, all very consistent in tone and style, and this is exactly the same. The light, the shadow, the paintwork, just awesome. Then on the other side, the QR code, the blue sepia version of the artwork, and a repeat of the data card information. I've not checked that in ages, don't know where that goes, but probably to more Peppa Pig stuff. Right then, let's get Shooter open. I've popped the tape already at the bottom there, and as usual, we've got the weapons locker here. Number 90, Jodie Shooter Craig, standard weapons locker, and then the figure in the tray. Oh, that's interesting. She's got the gas mask on out the packet. That's going to be a bit awkward when I review it later. Plastic tie wraps. I'll get those in a sec, but let's crack this open here. We got the weapons and everything. Oh, there's the paperwork. Got the weapons and everything in a bag there. Let's tear that open like you would do. Get your Horlicks at night. Little Horlicks sachet. Oh, that's nice to see. So her rifle is in the cardboard frame there. Hopefully that will prevent too much barrel bending. Nothing left in there. So what have we got here? Got the hair swap. Like a little bracket with a peg on it. So that presumably goes on the back to hold the rifle. Magazine. I thought she had a... Oh, there it is. There's the knife. Can't find the pistol. Oh, wait a minute. There's another hair swap. Oh, okay. They've fallen into the cardboard, the other bits. And let me get some tape on that. There's the pistol. And then, oh, where's my scissors? And yeah, there's the rifle. But, oh, looks sad to report. There's still a bit of bending there, although it's better than it has been. I just knit the tie wraps there to get her out of the cardboard frame. And as you can see, the cardboard frame has got the artwork on the back, as they've been doing with all their figures recently. Right, and there we go then, folks. There is Shooter with all her goodies and accessories. So, as usual, I'm going to go away and get some man-child playtime in. I'm going to pose her up, take some photos, put her in display with some of my other Joes, just to get a good feel for the figure. And I'll be back to share some review thoughts. So, stick around, because future Chris is going to give you all the ins and outs in 3, 2, 1... All right then, folks. Well, here is Shooter then. And normally I would do this initial kind of aesthetic review section with how the figure looks out of box, but I'm sure you'll forgive me for taking the gas mask off that was on the inbox in the cardboard frame and putting one of the hair accessory pieces on so that we could take a look at the face sculpt. I'm sure you'll all forgive me for that. In fact, you probably would have wanted me to do that. But yeah, there you go. Here she is. Soak her in from head to toe. Interesting figure for sure. Lots to like. A few things to not so keen on. But overall, a good, solid figure and a great new female addition to what was turning into a bit of a sausage fest on the old G.I. Joe shelf over there. So, yeah, here she is. So we've got a lovely head sculpt on Shooter here. Great paint applications, excellently sculpted features, lovely skin tones as well. She looks great. Perhaps a little bit stoic, a bit serious, but that's fine. You know, she's a sniper by trade. You'd expect them to be a little bit stoic and serious and straight-faced. And it doesn't edge over into the vanilla, which is always a bit of a concern. But yeah, the makeup around the eyes, the eyebrows, everything is lovely. Then nice hair sculpt there, lovely sculpted detail in the hair. This is removable, so I'll show you this a bit later on when I do the accessories, but this pops off the top there like that. But you can see some paint applications on the hair where she's got a dyed section at the tips and in her little ponytail, and it's all sort of pinched back and swooshed into the head there. Some lovely hair sculpt as well with the little bangs hanging down with the tips dyed as well. Moving further down into the figure, we've got this nice tactical vest that's well sculpted here. Lots of paint applications applied to that with all the different colour pouches and straps. Nice digital display here with a little bit of paint application. If anyone who knows a little bit more about the arms services and why she might have a digital display of that nature and what it is, I'd appreciate you cluing me in and educating me in the comments down below. But yeah, that's nice, lovely sculpted details, straps. Obviously, I always want more when it comes to things like buckles and clasps and that, but it's nice nonetheless. Lots of textured details in the uniform. You can see just under the arm here, then the rolled up sleeves, and then we've got the creases and folds and the extra straps holding up the sleeves. Nice paint application here on the arm with the tattoo, the serpent with an arrow being fired through it, clearly indicating that she kills cobras. Got this floating belt over the top here again. Nice sculpting detail in there, although no paint applications. That buckle could have done with a splash of colour, but it is what it is. Hey, I'll tell you what, jumping ahead a bit while I'm on the belt, got these loops at the back here, which are a nice piece of detail, but is there a practical use for those in terms of her carrying something that should go in there? I can't figure it out. I feel like I'm missing something there, so if anybody knows, please do clue me in. More texture detail as we go down through the body. I love the fabric texture designs on G.I. Joe Classified. They really give the figures some personality and some depth. But then even in these kind of armoured sections, like these thigh defenders here, and we've got some nice sculpted details and in the knee pads and stuff. I know from some of my friends round about in the socials community that the trainers, the sneakers there, are a kind of aesthetic Marmite point. You either love them or you hate them, and I can appreciate that for sure. They certainly do stand out and clash with the rest of the military, operator aesthetic of the figure of Shooter. When she's kind of got all this tactical gear on and professional gear, and then she's got what basically look like a pair of unlaced Nike Airs there. They're fine. They don't bother me that much, although I think I would have preferred something more military in style. But when you're trying to communicate some narrative and some character, some identity through the visual elements, I can, the fact that she's wearing sneakers tells you a lot. It communicates a lot, the least of which is she's really into comfortable footwear. Colour scheme wise, Jodie's black uniform seems a bit shiny to me in places, and if you're a regular viewer around these parts, you know how I feel about shiny uniforms. It's okay, I suppose, but yeah, it just does stand out in terms of the shelf presence that she gives when she's in display. The greens, the grey greens of her tactical armour and her, the sneakers and whatnot are a nice little touch. They're just in line enough to be consistent with the military green colours of a G.I. Joe unit, but have enough kind of independent personality that it adds a little bit of flavour and a bit of variety to the colour palette there, so that's nice. And of course, as usual, they've got that classic G.I. Joe Classified symmetry going on in the design there, so that the colours are well balanced across the whole figure. The gloves, the sneakers, the thigh pads, and of course the tactical vest in the centre there gives it a good balanced look, very easy on the eye. So aesthetically then, Shooter's a thumbs up from me for sure. She adds a nice bit of flavour to a G.I. Joe unit display. She's got some lovely stuff going on there. She's got her own visual identity, but is consistent and in line with the others. And as I mentioned before, it's nice to see some more female presence on that side of the shelf. So yeah, absolutely thumbs up aesthetically. I quite enjoy her, actually, in that respect, sneakers notwithstanding. All right, well, let's now take a closer look at her articulation, shall we? I really love the female book Articulation from G.I. Joe Classified of late. It really blows just basically anyone else out the water that I have hands-on with. But let's get started anyway. So above the head then, we got a ball at the top of the neck and a ball at the bottom of the neck, which gives us some decent down, gives us some good up, although you have to make sure you curve the bottom of the hairline over the collar there in order to do that. You got the full 360 X assist, some tilt and some motion and movement there, which is nice. Now, I don't know if you noticed when I was moving it around, my ball, the neck ball at the bottom of the neck is slightly misaligned, which sometimes gets in the way of the articulation. And if I go up too far, you can see it's got that little gap that appears there, which is not great. But I must admit, I've most of the time got looking down the sights of a rifle anyway, so it's not bothered me that much, but it's there nonetheless, see? Moving down into the shoulders then, we've got a butterfly joint there in the shoulders. Then we've got the swivel hinge, giving the full 360. Hinges in the armpits, giving us the T-shape. Got the swivel here at the top of the bicep and tricep. Lovely pinless double elbow that gets us up to there. Then the standard pegged in hands, which give us the swivel all the way round. And then both hands, left and right, have got an up and down hinge in them there. Into the torso, we've got a swivel here just under the boob line and then a swivel at the waist. My diaphragm swivel is very tight and crunchy and not very maneuverable. I don't know if that's because of the tactical vest and the way that that's sculpted over the top or not, but it's not giving me a great deal of forward crunch or back there, and the swivel's a bit springy. The waist is much better though, as you can see. Oh, get it in focus. There you go. Waist is much better there, as you can see. Although the positioning, this loose belt, sometimes you have to kind of, when you're moving her around, make sure you put it back in line because it does kind of float up like that a lot. Then down into the groin, we've got the standard G.I. Joe Classified Series drop-down joint, but mine is very stiff and gummy, and I don't have particularly good forward. I don't know if you can see there. It's a bit springy, but it exists nonetheless, and you can definitely get the nice ballet splits there. Thigh cut there, giving us the swivel. Pinless double knee that gets you up to there. We've got a cut there at the top of the calf, which we would normally refer to as the boot cut, but it's obviously not part of the boot at all. And then the standard hinge and rockers around the feet, giving us good ankle movement. So I'm going to give the articulation a thumbs up because I do like the G.I. Joe Classified Series articulation scheme overall, and I'm particularly keen on the female articulation because I believe it's got a range of motion, to match the boys, as well they should. I'm just going to knock a couple of points off with this particular one because of the kind of QC around the really gummy chest cut and the really weird thing going on with the groin. Although, what I will say is at point of recording now, I've not applied any heat to those. Normally I might give it a bit of heating up. So that's not too bad for not applying some heat, but yeah, a few points knocked off for my one in particular because of the gummy groin and the gummy chest. So there you go. All right, well, there's articulation. Let's now take a look at the accessories and added value, shall we? So let's get started with the head stuff then. And this is the head that was on the figure when it came out, the box, the gas mask head there. So it's not actually, strictly speaking, a head swap because it goes over the existing head sculpt. It's more like a hair swap, but like a full face and hair swap, which is an interesting choice there. The gas mask is nice. It's it's in line color scheme wise with the rest of her tactical uniform. Got these kind of glassy green, shiny, big eyes. They look a bit bug-like to me, but they're it looks like a gas mask. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing, and it's a nice touch to keep her consistent and in line with fellow Night Force member Big Ben that's been previously released. And you pop the hair off like so, leaving the kind of weird, bold mannequin look. And then I've been making it work just by kind of going from back to front like that. And there we go. We've got in the gas mask version of the head there, which looks pretty good on the figure, I think. I don't know. You tell me otherwise if you disagree, but yeah, I quite like that. Bit of something for some storytelling there for sure. There's also a third hair sculpt included, which is this kind of braided style with the little knot top at the back there, and with the braided pattern across the top. Let's just move that back a bit so it's in focus. So yeah, that's nice. It's a lovely sculpted piece. I'm just less keen on this one because I feel like it makes her forehead look really big, and I'm a bit more of a fan of that hair with the kind of the bangs coming down the front, or using the gas mask head. But it's available, and if you like it, because it's a horses for courses thing at the end of the day, then it's available to you. Then moving into the weapons, and Shooter's got a small selection of small arms. Here's her handgun, her pistol. I think we've seen that before, actually. That's probably reuse, but it's a single piece of great moulded plastic with the sculpted details on it. It's fine enough. It's definitely in that super gummy, plasticky, rubbery feel that we've had from the weapons of late, which sucks. But it's all right. Yeah, it's a pistol that you can armor up with. That's fine and dandy. Got a barrel hole on it, and that's got storage on the figure there, which fits into this holster on her thigh. My holster is a bit tight. I have to sort of squeeze it out like that to get the figure in. Get the pistol in. But once it's in, it does fit nice and tight. Then we have this little curved dagger here, again in a single moulded piece of plastic. The handle's fine. The sculpting design of the blade is fine. Although I'm always a little put out when they've not put a metallic paint application on the blade there. Clearly designed for hacking away at underbrush and things in the way of her line of sight. And this too has on-figure storage. There's a little knife sheath here, just at the top on the shoulder of her tactical vest. Then the big show is this massive sniper rifle that she carries around, which is a huge beast, obviously a high caliber weapon. Again, single molded piece of plastic. It's very gummy and rubbery. Again, you can see my barrels all misshapen there. But I'll reiterate from before, I've applied no heat to shooter at all as of yet. So it looks all right. I must admit, I'm not the biggest fan of this. It looks a bit... I don't know, I can't put my finger on it, but something about the rifle doesn't sit right with me. I can't quite articulate what it is I don't like. I just know I don't like it. Do you know what I mean? I suppose it could be argued it's because it's got some sort of science fiction-y vibes, although, again, if anyone's knowledgeable in firearms wants to jump into the comments down below and let me know if that's a real rifle, which I suspect it probably is. And some of you folks out there, some of my regulars, I'm sure you'll definitely educate me on that. But but I don't mind the science fiction-y stuff and the more kind of weird idiosyncratic stuff, so I'm not sure what that is, but I can't put my finger on what I don't like. The magazine's removable as well. Just point that out, so you can just pop that out there and pop that back in like so. That's fine. But yeah, it's just something about it doesn't sit right with me, and I can't put my finger on what it is. So if anyone's got any thoughts as to why I don't like this one, would like to explain my own thinking to me, then let me know. And then finally, she doesn't have a backpack, but she's got this little back bracket thing that she can fit into a peg hole on her back there. I'm holding it by the peg just here. It's got a little sticky outy peg and then a little holding bracket, and this fits the rifle in it. So you just pop it in the peg there like so, and then you get the trigger of the rifle and the little grip, and pop it in like so that she can carry her rifle around on her back. So no backpack, strictly speaking, but giving us the on-figure storage for the big sniper rifle as well, which, you know, I appreciate. So yeah, the accessory selection on shooters, decent. Yeah, it's good. I like the gas mask. I like she's got the armaments. I like the bracket thing that she can make sure she can carry a sniper rifle. That all adds up. That's really good. The hair swaps are all right. Yeah, I like that one well enough. It's all good. It feels a bit light, like there's something missing, but I can't put my finger quite on what. I just have this sense like there's a little extra, one thing that would have been... Oh, that belt does my head in. Just this extra little one thing. What was I saying? Yeah. That would just tip her over the top. But I'm not sure what it is. I think this could, again, be a classic example of my accessory greed. I always want more, but I just feel like there's something not there. Maybe it's just because she hasn't got a big old bulky backpack like everybody else that it's just weirding me out. I don't know. But share your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd be interested to know where you're at with that. But overall, in terms of the possibilities and the kind of display storytelling and stuff that you can do with her, yeah, there's a lot of options. So it's a thumbs up on accessories, I think, for sure. Quick figure comparison time then, folks, and here is Shooter with fellow Night Force subline Big Ben. I popped his gas mask on as well, so you can see the two of them together as they are raiding a smoky, gassed-out Cobra hideout with all their gear. There's a nice consistent tone between them. The colours don't exactly match, but they work. They're complementary. So if you're into making sure that your particular sublines are all batched together on your shelf, then these two are bringing a nice little narrative tone together. Here's Shooter next to fellow shelf noob Grunt that's just been recently added to the collection, but he's also a nice choice, so you can see that kind of Night Force against sort of mainline military green colours next to each other. And then finally, I always like to chuck a villain in from the other side of the shelf, and here is Zorana, but also so you can see a bit of a comparison between the two kind of female books there. Zorana, incidentally, is possibly going to be one of my contenders for the figure of the year at this rate, because I love this one. Okay, folks, well, here is Shooter then going around on the turntable in kind of a bit of a pose that I think I might settle on. I don't know. I haven't decided if I want that sniper rifle as a key feature or not, although it should be because it's part of her kind of identity and role and function in the Night Force. But We'll see. We'll see what happens in the coming days. But yeah, overall, in conclusion, Shooter is a good, solid G.I. Joe classified figure. There's no real complaints. I've got, once again, a few QC issues in the articulation and the gummy guns, but aside from that, she's a good figure. What I will say, though, is that Shooter hasn't quite sung to me the same way as other recent additions to my collection have. I tend to judge it by how much hands-on man-child playtime I want to get with the figure between unboxing it and then sitting down and reviewing it. And I'm well over a week later now, possibly edging on to closer to 10 days since Shooter arrived on my doorstep, and I just haven't really been sitting on the carpet getting her out and exploring the poses and how interesting I can get her. And I'm not 100% sure why that is. I suspect that it's just because the character is not one that I have a strong nostalgic connection to compared to others that I have in my collection and that I've received this year. I wasn't reading Real American Hero particularly heavily around the time that she featured. I never owned the vintage figure, which I think was from later on in the 90s. I don't believe she ever had an appearance in any of the animated series. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, by all means, but I don't have a recollection of her appearance. So I'm just wondering if this is one of those classic examples where the nostalgic connection is playing a big part. Yeah, I'm wondering if that's why she hasn't sung to me so much. But again, I'm open to suggestions or thoughts from you, dear viewer. So please do drop down in the comments below. All right, well, there we are. There's my Shooter review. Hopefully, if you're thinking about picking one up, you found this useful. If you have, then please do take a moment to give me a like. And if you're not already subscribed, I would massively greatly appreciate you taking the time to subscribe. And while I'm on that subject, a huge thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel so far. I am blessed and honoured to have you as part of my viewing community. So there we go. I hope you have a great day, and come back round again sometime soon for some more action figure stuff if you fancy it. I'm around all the time. All right, well, there we go. I've done it again. I've managed to finish the video with the characters back facing the camera. Well done, Chris. All right, well, see you later, folks. Bye-bye.